The Porsche IMSA GT3 Cup Challenge by Yokohama moves to Laguna Seca and Mazda Raceway for rounds 3 and 4. Mazda Raceway Laguna Seca is situated on the Monterey Peninsula, some of the most beautiful real estate in all of North America. The circuit itself, well, that has beauty too, but also challenges. And watch out for the weather. Typically cold mornings here, giving way to sunshine and warmer afternoons, and then the coastal layer can roll in. Once again, it's a 3-class challenge. The Platinum class for the newer cars, the Gold class for cars up to 2009, and the Masters for drivers who have just a little more provenance, perhaps, than their competitors.
Laguna is, for me, it's slippery. It's sandy, it's a one-lane racetrack. Just string them together and kind of tiptoe your way around this place. That's how I approach it.
You need to be fast here early in the weekend. There's not much time to fine-tune the setup.
Up. We were tending towards oversteer, and so as the race goes on, we don't want to get too far. We don't want to start out too much oversteer. We want to be a little under.
We're all so close, other than Madison was about a second faster than me, I think, in quali. And Sloan was super fast. He yanked a good lap, so we're really, really proud of Sloan being up on number 2 on the front row representing, so that's great.
The Porsche IMSA GT3 Cup Challenge by Yokohama is part of a worldwide commitment by Porsche. It's the fastest and most prestigious single-marque championship anywhere on the planet. Here in North America, Yokohama provide the control rubber, and there's another difference. No professional drivers. This is a development series. We're looking for new talent for the future. Some of Porsche's big-name drivers now cut their teeth in exactly this type of competition, and they're there to mentor the current crop of drivers.
It's challenging because all run in the same cars, so it really depends on the driver. I mean, you can do a setup on the car, you can change some things, but basically I would say it's 99% the driver who makes the difference.
The IMSA GT3 Cup Challenge by Yokohama encourages consistency with controlled aggression. The races are relatively short, the championship is competitive. Any mistake, any missed score, any non-finish is going to cost you when it comes down to the end of the season. Pressure is constant, not just across the season but across every race weekend, as Madison Snow knows, but made a rookie error in the first race at Sebring. But some drivers thrive on pressure. Ashley Freiberg for Effort Racing, in her first GT racing weekend, performed admirably at Sebring, with 2 consistent finishes, leaving her at the sharp end of the championship. Her teammate, Sloan Urry, also got down to business early in the championship. He'll share the front row with pole sitter Madison Snow. The championship leader after the first 2 rounds, Angel Benitez Jr., was not having a great time of it here in Monterey. His MOMO NGT Motorsport Porsche on the inside of row number 3. So why the drop-off in performance? The pace just wasn't there in the early part of qualifying. Angel came into the pit lane and made a change to the front splitter, the very front end of the car. That's not allowed, and half his times were disallowed, so he has work to do and cars to pass when the lights go green.
It's round 3 of the IMSA GT3 Cup Challenge by Yokohama. It's a great looking 2x2 start as they come down to the start line. The green flag is waved in the air and we are racing over 123 miles an hour as the leaders come down this long run into the first hard braking zone, and the pole sitter just about holding on, but there's a very hard manoeuvre around the outside, and the blue car, Sloan Urry for Effort Racing, has a look. Oh, he's taken it round! The 20 car goes around and he's turned. Oh, there's all kinds of carnage there in the midfield, one of the NGT cars coming through there, and that, I'm afraid, was not smart at the start of a long race.
It certainly wasn't there. It was a very bold move there around the outside from the second row of the grid. and it hasn't paid off. There was contact between those cars, and then contact between several others as well. Miles Moroney was sent spinning. He was nothing to do with that at all, but what he didn't do though after he'd started spinning was get on the brakes, and unfortunately he kind of wheeled that car around into the path of somebody else. A lot of damage to that Entrust entry from the True Speed Motorsports organization.
The silver, red and black machine, the 45, is, I'm afraid, injured terminally insofar as the cooling system at the front of that normally immaculate Porsche 997 GT3 Cup car, and there is the 25 car as well. Angel Benitez Jr. caught up in that. I thought there was one of the NGT cars. I didn't realise it was Angel, and he's leaking water as well from the left front. That car will be heading into the pit lane. Let's take another look at this. The blue car is Uri trying to come round the outside, and he'd almost got it done. Got the right-hand wheels onto the dirt here. That sent him spinning around into Miles Moroney. Miles at that point is a passenger, and Benitez Jr. mustn't have made a good start, Jeremy, because he was only on row 2 and he came through quite late there.
Yes, he did. You're absolutely right. There was all sorts of shuffling around going there, around there in the Mario Andretti hairpin, and it was a really unfortunate start of the race. It was a poor initial getaway by Sloan Uri from the outside of the front row, but he tried to make it all up again around the outside of that first corner, and he got himself out on the curbs and lost control on the curbs, trying to tuck in behind Madison Snow, and then he went downhill from there.
Well, the lights on the Porsche Panamera safety car have been extinguished, which means only one thing, that the IMSA safety team have done their hard work once again, and the detritus of that first lap incident has been cleared. And for Madison Snow, that means he will lead the remainder of the IMSA GT3 Cup Challenge field by Yokohama back to the green flag, and we are racing after half a dozen laps of full course caution, and he's got a fantastic start. Thompson in second place, unable to stay with the pole sitter as they head down to the scene of the crime from the first lap again. And it's all as you were with Snow, Thompson, Freiberg, Mills, Cisneros, Kuhlmann the best of the Masters races in 6th position, Jerson Sandberg and Cisneros for the top 10. And that is a much better start second time around. In fairness, Jeremy, they are all line astern and not side by side.
Yeah, that certainly makes a difference, but nobody do anything silly at all. They're just being respectful of each other. It's a low grip racetrack here at Mazda Raceway Laguna Seca. It never has an awful lot of grip on this surface, and also particularly with the dust that's been blown around and brought onto the racetrack by the other incidents as well. It takes probably a lap or two to get these tyres really up to proper operating pressures and temperatures. So it's not very wise to push too hard before that everything is working properly.
Freiberg and Mills in 3rd and 4th position in those two blue cars there, teammates. And the first rule of motor racing is don't run into your teammate, of course. Don't run into anybody, but definitely don't run into your teammate. The two Effort Racing cars coming down to the heavy braking area for the final left-hander, excuse me. If they turned right there, they'd have to pay to get back in again. But Madison Snow is leading by about half a second, and that's been a good restart and a good first green racing lap for Madison Snow from pole position. The worst thing you can see happen, of course, Jeremy, is you get a decent start from pole position, something happens behind, and then you've got to do it all again. But this young man, as you say, very young in his racing career, has shown a lot of maturity and clearly has got straight back down to business.
Yeah.
And there is Sloan Uri into the pit lane.
I fancy this might be a penalty. Yeah, I was wondering about that.
We're just hearing from the race officials that this is a stop and 2-minute hold.
Ouch.
Yeah, and I mean it's draconian, definitely, but he's ended 3 people's races there from what really wasn't a smart manoeuvre, very low percentage move.
It was, unfortunately, yeah. I mean, just a little bit of inexperience. He's still only 20 years of age, is Sloan Uri. He started off racing 3 years ago in the Mustang series.
That's the 3 car of Steve Goldman, who took that position a couple of laps ago under pressure there for a moment from Davido, who has lost the position himself to Podad as they go through.
Yeah, good battling on there. And just going back briefly against to Sloan Uri, he'll learn from this. Like I say, he's still a youngster. And it was a good effort. I mean, he made it around the outside, and certainly Madison Snow made it very difficult for him. He gave him no room at all on the exit.
Legitimately.
Yeah, absolutely. He tried to tuck in behind into second place, did slow Murray, but he just lost control on the curves. A little bit unlucky, certainly, and you've got to give him credit for trying to make that move. It was a good, bold pass, a good effort, and he made it around the corner, but didn't get it beyond the corner.
No.
Next time.
Contact ensued.
Look at this battle here.
Yeah, this is the 16 car, Fred Podard from Texas, from San Antonio on the competition motorsports car. And then further up the field, 28 and 45, 54 rather, if he was 45, he was upside down. Battling together for 9th and 10th position.
Amadeo Quiros from Costa Rica. Battling with Brett Sandberg.
Yeah, Brett Sandberg.
Another youngster. He had a good run at Sebring as well, did Brett Sandberg. He was running, actually finished third in the first race. Unfortunately, there was a technical infringement found in post-race technical inspection after that race, and he was that third place was taken away. But he certainly had a very, very strong performance there.
Yeah, and the 54 was in there, so it's 46 and 54, just confusing me. Doesn't take much. John Bennett from Core Autosport in there as well, battling at the bottom end of the top 10. Quick look there at the 15 car, Jeremy, going through. And
Casey Coleman
leading the Masters class.
Indeed, yes, a very nice run there by Casey. He's been in this series since 2010. Had quite a lot of success driving one again for Wright Motorsports. They won the championship last year with Sean Johnston, and Casey Coolman doing a very fine job there in 6th place.
And there's Craig Durson in the 27 car, sitting in 7th position.
And 2nd of the Masters.
Yeah, that is the battle at the head of the Masters field. And there you get a great look at the cars coming to the top of the corkscrew, those BBS alloys glinting in the California sunshine. We've said this before, Jeremy, but these categories are such good breeding grounds for drivers, for teams, and this has been an unqualified success since the IMSA GT3 Cup Challenge was brought on, 5 or 6 years ago now. There was some thought that you might not be able to get a full field of full-time, full-season runners, and perhaps people would drop in and out as we're looking at this battle further down the field. And this is the battle for 17th and 18th. Oh, and off goes Larno, and he's going to spin it in the 24 car. Mark Larno from Florida in the NGT Motorsport car, one of the ones that's not orange and black. I put that car down somewhere and then I lost it. It's the camouflage coloured car. Still with the bright orange NGT, and just ran out of road at the exit of turn 10 there. Now let's go back to that battle that we were just looking at, and looks like Hacker's going to lose that one. Yes, he does. As through goes the 16 car. Fred Pourardad then moves up into 13th position. And now Madison Snow has a new challenge. Not now Colin Thompson behind, but Ashley Freiberg and Michael Mills come through for Effort Racing 2-3 at the moment. Thompson has recovered quite well. It would have been easy for him to just struggle after he'd been off the circuit, but he's off wide, very, very late on the brakes for the 41 of Michael Mills there in 3rd place, but he didn't panic. He pulled the car around, rolled off the brakes in the centre of the corner, and then turned the car back to the 2nd apex, and Ashley's car sliding around now. Still this battle raging on at the round about the 12th position as they come across the line. In fact, it's a little bit further back than that. It's 14th and 15th. And you've got to think that Colin Thompson there in 4th position is kicking himself. Scene of the crime last time round. Just looked at me as though he may have turned in a tiny bit late and did exactly what Mills has done ahead of him. Mills had to lift off there in the corner. That's a rare error by Michael Mills for the Effort Motorsports car, and through back into 3rd position, makes up one of the 2 places he lost, and that's a very good opportunist move by Thompson.
Yeah, tremendous battle this is for 2nd place here in the wake of Madison Snow, the youngster who's pretty much out on his own now. But there's battles all the way up down this field. This is tremendous stuff.
Spat the 14th again, and
Davide looking to the inside up at turn 6. That's always a tough move to pull off.
He's got to be braver than a brave thing on a very brave day, and that is the battle for 6th position, and headed by Craig Durson, Sam Berg right in there, and then the 28 of Amadeo Quiros.
Yeah, we saw no sign of Enrique Cisneros, who was running in 6th place. He's now back to 10th. Down the inside, though, goes Brett Sandberg.
And that was as cool and as smooth as that is actually a signature Mazda Raceway Laguna Seca pass. Get the drag up the hill, and it is quite severely uphill over the start-finish line.
Yeah.
And if you had to cycle it, you'd know about it for sure.
Colin Thompson, by the way, he's just set his best lap of the race, 1 minute 30.2 last time around, so that's a very, very good lap from Colin Thompson. And here is that pressure, though. He's still under a lot of pressure now from Michael Mills.
For 3rd and 4th position. He's got the hurry up now. Ashley Freiberg's been able to pull away, but it's still 4 seconds between Snow leading in the 62, which is the Snow Racing Right Motorsports car, and then Ashley in a bit of clear air now. So can Ashley benefit from that as Mills goes wide? But that was deliberate.
Yep.
He's going to try and get the run down the hill, and he does exactly that. Goes to the right hand side but can't get the overlap, and discretion is the better part of valor there. This is very, very tricky and smart driving from the blue car of Michael Mills, the Effort Racing car, in 4th, wants a place on the podium.
He does, and Colin Thompson is a good young racer. I tell you what, last year there was an F1600 race at Mid-Ohio with about 6 cars, and everybody was there, so that was one of the most exciting races they've ever seen. There were 6 cars back and forth, nose to tail, and Colin Thompson came out on top of that race, and he's under a lot of pressure now.
That was a lovely move in the middle of the corner by Thompson. He realised he was going to leave the inside line open, and Mills had gone deep into the corner for the cutback. Both of the cars sliding around now as we get down to under 8 minutes to go in this 45-minute contest. There's our leader. We haven't seen much of Madison Snow because he's been doing such a good job. Freiberg in 2nd, and here comes Mills down the inside into turn 5, the banked left-hander as you start the climb. About half distance of this 2 1/4 lap of Mazda Raceway Laguna Seca. Now to turn 6, get your turn in absolutely right here, otherwise you're going to eat a bit of dust on the right hand side. They both do very well. Is there an opportunity for Mills in the blue Effort Racing car to get on terms as they come into the Corkscrew? Middle of the road for Thompson, holding on to 3rd. That's smart driving from the youngster. My goodness me, these kids learn very, very quickly. But the thing is, Jeremy, they've been racing for a long time.
Yep, they have, and Michael Mills here, he's putting the pressure on Colin Thompson, who was 4th in the championship points last season overall. That was his first year of racing in the Platinum class, and I think as a result of this race here, if he can stay where he is, he will probably take over the lead in the points after 3 races, because Arnold Benitez is not going to score any points. And Michael, although he's going to lose a little bit of ground to Ashley Freiberg, I think that will be enough to move him up into the championship points lead. And you know, this early stage in the season, it's never too early to start thinking about championships.
Mills seems to be able to gain quite easily, and the 2 Effort Racing cars look very, very good indeed. Quick shot of our leader, Madison Snow, who's enjoying a beautiful afternoon drive in the Monterey sunshine at the moment. He'll be thinking this is all a bit too... Is everybody still there? Hang on, where have they all gone? Well, Ashley Freiberg's closed down a wee bit. Took half a second out of the lead, but it's stabilised now at about 3.5 seconds between 1st and 2nd, Snow and Freiberg. Then this epic battle between Thompson and Mills for the last podium step. And as I said, I'm very impressed with the pressure that's been soaked up by the youngster Thompson.
Yeah.
Would have been easy for him to lose his head after he'd been off the track and make more mistakes. He hasn't done that. He's fought back, he's got one of the positions back, and now he is driving defensively, but very fairly. Here's our gold leader, Michael Levitas in the 36, another great colour scheme for this car. Looks a bit like the Peterson White Lightning car from years ago. Do you remember that?
Yeah, it does actually, and you know, Michael Levitas, he's been around the sport driving Porsches for quite a number of years. He drove in the Rolex GT Series and what is now the Continental Tire Series with Randy Post as his teammate, and Randy has stayed in touch with Michael. Not only that, he is now the driver coach for both Michael Levitas and David Williams this weekend.
Interesting battle for 3rd position here, Jeremy, because Thompson is getting out of the final corner and punching down the front straight very, very well indeed, and taking car's length out of 4th place Mills, but Mills through the twisties is really laying down some of that Yokohama rubber. It's very good rubber, but when you are leaning on it as much as Thompson is, it's going to move around a little bit. But Thompson and Mills, as I say, Mills seems to have a car underneath him where through this middle section of the lap he can close up but just can't get into a position to challenge.
No, and certainly, as you said, he's got a lot more experience in these cars than Colin Thompson. But Thompson, as you say, I'm very impressed too, particularly after a really disappointing weekend that he had in Sebring to begin the championship. To come here and run this strongly and have this cooler head about him as a youngster, like I say, only 19 years of age. It's very, very impressive. What was that, fella?
That's a piece of the under tray from one of those two cars. I think it's from Thompson. Oh, no. It's a puncture. It's a puncture to the right front of the 41 car. Now watch the orange car here go across the curb there, flicks up the storm drain, which is then catapulted into the right front of Mills's car in 4th position. Takes out the radiator. It's actually a heck of a save by Mills.
What a disaster for Michael Mills. He was looking to take the championship lead as a result of this race. That's unless there's some sort of miracle, I don't think that's going to happen. And Ashley Freiberg might indeed take over the championship lead.
Well, I think that's about right. The lead is about 4 seconds from this car, Madison Snow, to 2nd place, the effort racing of Freiberg. Thompson then is back up into 3rd position on his own now. Mills will have Sandberg and Kuhlmann and Durson and Bennett on his spoiler very shortly. And there is Thompson in 3rd. I can't imagine that the effort motorsport car, the effort racing car of Mills is going to be able to last another maybe 5 miles. But that was one of the most bizarre things. Something was thrown up from the road. I'm fairly certain it came from Thompson's car.
It seemed to something flew out sideways, didn't it, as he came down the hill through that corkscrew turn. Here is a Madison Snow. This will be 1 lap to go. The white flag for Madison Snow.
And it's been a really mature drive by one of the youngest drivers in the field, but driving with experience of IMSA GT3 Cup Challenge by Yokohama. Madison Snow then from pole position is leading in the Snow Racing Wright Motorsports car. That sounds like it was fairly easy, but challenged on the first corner, then a long safety car period, had to do the restart, pulled away to about 5 seconds and has controlled the gap at the head of the field. Ashley Freiberg, since getting into 2nd place, has closed down to about 3 seconds, but you get the feeling, Jeremy, that Madison Snow has been just watching the pit board and making sure he does just enough to keep a reasonable cushion between himself and the pack.
I think so. He does have the fastest lap of the race as well, but only by 1/10 of a second over Ashley Freiberg, who has matched his pace second for second in the latter half of this race.
That's Podad and Davidow banging wheels across as they go across the line, just outside the top 10, 11th and 12th position. Mills has still scored in 4th position, which I'm very, very surprised at. He is still clearly circulating, so Sandberg will be closing in. But round 3 of the IMSA GT3 Cup Challenge by Yokohama has belonged to the pole sitter in the Snow Racing Wright Motorsports Porsche. It's been a Leicester flag victory for Madison Snow, who takes it in style and takes maximum points in this 3rd round. Ashley Freiberg will come through 2 seconds behind, closing at the line, but certainly a race that was controlled by Madison Snow. The 3rd spot on the podium will go to the 14 of Colin Thompson. It's been a good run from him, and I wonder if Mills can just hang on for 4th place. Hasn't come across the line yet with that damaged Porsche. It is a limping car. And Sandberg was there, and Sandberg's gone through in 4th. Sandberg's gone through in 4th, and Mills has not finished the last lap. So disaster for Michael Mills, who was so far up in the championship standings. Battles further down the field. This is 13th position, Queiroz.
He must have had an off as well then.
Yeah, Hacker and Steve Goldman are right there as well. He was running up in the top 6.
Absolutely. Yeah, Queiroz was certainly in the top 8 or 9. And then these...
Oh, there's Goldman's gone around, he's going to hit the wall! And that's just too much right foot on the final corner. There is Levitas taking the gold championship portion of the race. Well, action and excitement and incident on the first corner of the first lap and the last corner of the last lap at opposite ends of the field. And that is a good finish, thrown away by Goldman. Kuhlmann takes the Masters category in the 15 Wright Motorsports Porsche.
Goldman, the most experienced driver in the field. I think he's had 59 starts in the IMSA GT3 Cup Challenge coming into this weekend. So unlike him to make a mistake there on that very last lap.
So Madison Snow takes round 3 of the IMSA GT3 Cup Challenge by Yokohama. The margin of victory 2 seconds at the end from Ashley Freiberg, who fought her way through into second place. It was a controlled and very, very mature race by all of the 3 on the podium, all youngsters, 62, 51 and 14, as Colin Thompson makes up the 3rd place on the podium. At the head of the field, Madison Snow's return to form gives him the victory. Ashley Freiberg in 2nd now leads the championship on consistency. Colin Thompson takes 3rd and Brett Sandberg takes 4th as Mills drops down the field. In the Masters category, Casey Kuhlmann was imperious, leading from lights to flag. Craig Dewison comes 2nd and Jonathan Bennett in 3rd. In the gold category for the older cars, Michael Levitas in the 36 wins from his teammate David Williams. It's round 4 of the IMSA GT3 Cup Challenge by Yokohama, and a beautiful sight as 2x2 the grid of cars comes to the final corner with Madison Snow and Sloane Urry on the front row, 62 and 20. Then it's 15 Casey Kuhlmann and Ashley Freiberg on row 2, and it's a great start from the rolling start as the green flag is thrown and through across the top of the rise down towards turn 1, the pole sitter. Madison Snow does exactly as he did here yesterday. Now this was the danger area yesterday. Sloane Urry has dropped in, and there is Ashley Freiberg in 3rd position, the 2 blue Effort Racing cars, and for the moment, he says, holding his breath as a little bit of dust thrown up, everyone has behaved themselves through the first couple of 3 turns.
That was very tidy indeed. A good start there by Colin Thompson. Started 6th. I think he made up a position going around the Andretti hairpin for the first time. So the youngster, 19 years of age, in that bright orange Porsche of Bucks County. He is from Pennsylvania. His dad is a Porsche dealer, amongst other things, and an accomplished Formula racer, up into 5th place, that bright orange car going up the hill toward turn 6.
Brilliant start by Madison Snow, belying his relative lack of years. He has got experience as there's side-by-side action coming out of turn 6 and heading up the hill. And there is Madison Snow coming through the signature corner of Mazda Raceway Laguna Seca. It's the Corkscrew, and now all downhill pretty much to the start-finish line. Big battle in. Thompson and Cisneros absolutely together, and they come through down towards turn 11, the final corner. This is the battle for 5th position. 2 cars with orange on them, the orange and black sort of throwback livery with the Porsche decals on the side of Thompson's car. There he is. And then the NGT car behind him, also with orange but the blue frontal piece and the MOMO decals. Everybody still behaving themselves. It is a long race, 45 minutes. And the big question is, oh, and a spinner in the background. The blue Porsche is just rolling off the circuit, and that is John Baker, one of the Masters class cars in the 47 car. And actually, he was well up in the Masters category. He was running 3rd before that slight indiscretion. Oh, this is terrible news, Jeremy. In the pit lane, another one of the drivers we expected to be a championship contender this year. Yeah,
Brett Sandberg here, the 2nd of the True Speed cars. The teammate of Miles Maroney, not even able to start the race. And Brett had some problems during the race yesterday, but came on strong toward the end of it. But he started well up the field here for this race. But unfortunately, now he's had to come in to make that pit stop and drop all the way from 7th on the grid to the back of the field.
The Wright Motorsports number 15 car is now the cork in the bottle, and that's 3rd place all the way down to what, 9th now?
Yeah, 4th place all the way back to 9th. Pretty much nose to tail. You're absolutely right. The first 3 second lead for Madison Snow. Another fastest lap that time around. The last 2 laps he's been below the 1-minute 30-second range. Down to the inside there, move for 5th place.
That's Cisneros on Thompson, clean as you like, and all Mills is having a little look in the blue Effort Racing car as well, and Thompson goes wide on the exit of the Andretti hairpins, gets a bit of dirt on the Yokohamas, but they're still gripping nicely, thank you very much indeed. But Mills is not finished and has another look, a little nibble in turn number 4. That's not normally a passing position there, and we were all holding our breath. I've no idea what it was like inside the car. 1, 2, 3 wide, going into turn 5, and an opportunity there for Craig Durson to make up a position in the 27 MOMO NGT car, the silver and orange car, and he takes that. Well, just how quickly things can change here, Jeremy. We had Mills there battling for a moment for 4th place and then drops 2 positions, and there's another mistake just a bit further ahead of him as Cisneros and Thompson both go wide.
Yes, Cisneros goes wide and Thompson gets that place back again. Tremendous racing here for 4th, 5th, 6th, 7th, 8th and 9th, and Michael Mills, hats off to him. That was really heads-up driving there because he got a good run on Colin Thompson going into turn 3, but he was on the outside line, so he braked a little bit early, tucked it in behind him, going to run towards turn 4, realised he wasn't quite close enough to make that pass, so tucked back into line, ended up costing him a position, but he's going to find his way back, and discretion the better part of valour. Back out of that one and make a move later on in the race and really make it stick.
Lose the battle, maybe win the war, yeah, that's sound thinking, but let's not forget these are all racing drivers, and sound thinking and racing drivers, perhaps not always to statements that you put together at the risk of alienating myself from some of the paddock. It is Snow that leads by 3.8 seconds in the 62. The Snow Racing Right Motorsports car in second. There is Sloan Urry, and the 20 car is sitting in relatively calm and collected second place, sort of 3.5, 4 seconds behind the leader, but a second and a half away from championship leading Ashley Freiberg in the 51 GT3 Cup, the most powerful, most prestigious, one of the longer lasting single race championships around the world, and it is of course a global formula with Porsche Super Cup supporting Formula 1 and then the National Carrera Cups or GT3 Cup challenges we have here in the United States. Quick glance at the leaders and then back to this battle, because we daren't take our eyes off this 4A moment, and this is still the battle for 5th position down over and down the inside. Angel Benitez Jr. into the final corner. The MOMO NGT car looking very stable, and that is a good move. We've just been seeing how good Michael Mills is on the brakes, and he was caught a bit napping there, if anything. Left the door wide open, and no second invitation required by the former championship leader. Came out of Sebring with 2 very, very good finishes. Led the championship but didn't get the finish yesterday, and now he knows he's got to be on a damage limitation now, can't afford to make any mistakes. Slides the back of that car out of turn number 3, and Angel Benitez Jr. is clearly a young man on a mission.
He is, and driving very sensibly here. I was very impressed with his attitude. Just talking to him just 1 hour and a half or 2 hours ago, and he readily fessed up to that mistake yesterday in qualifying. Was disappointed to get involved in that accident yesterday, but he said, look, that's past, it's behind me, it's beyond my control now. All I can do at this stage is have a good race for the team this afternoon and bring home a good finish. And he's biding his time. He's made a move on Michael Mills, and that's no easy task. And the next on his agenda is to get past his teammate Enrique Cisneros,
who was signalling to him as they went up the hill. I could see the right hand of Cisneros gesticulating to his teammate behind him. And meantime, further up the field, this is a true battle. And this is Kuhlman and Thompson having a crack at it for 4th position. Behind them, will Benitez come down the inside on Cisneros? Cisneros kind of leaves the door open, but kind of doesn't. And you don't need that. You don't need that between anybody, but certainly not between teammates. There seems to be a little bit of a lack of communication. Not sure if Cisneros was trying to let his young teammate go, but he has done it now. But there was an opportunity for a bit of fumbling and mistake here, and Mills will take the opportunity to try and take down the inside, and he does so into the Andretti hairpin. And that to me was just a little untidy by the 2 MOMO NGT drivers.
Yeah, I wonder whether Cisneros was, I think he recognised that Angel was a little bit faster, so he didn't want to hold him up, but in doing so he cost himself a couple of positions. I'm sure that wasn't the plan, but meanwhile you're right, this is a battle. Casey Kuhlman just about holding off Colin Thompson.
And Thompson was quick down the hill last time. He is again. He's going to have a look down the inside into turn number 10. That's a really tough manoeuvre to pull off. It looks like the camber of the road will help you, but as you can see, it's completely ruined his exit. And Angel Benitez Jr. again has the opportunity, sees it, takes it. Thank you very much. And now finds himself in 5th position. I say finds himself, he's fought his way there.
He has indeed, beautifully too. He really took advantage of that attempt by Thompson to pass Kuhlmann, and Benitez was in the right place at the right time, made a decisive move to the inside and made that pass. Excellent driving by Angel Benitez Jr.
And it just is this type of racing. One moment you're attacking, you make the attack is rebuffed, and then, oh, hang on a second, I've lost all my momentum and I'm defending and I've lost 2 or 3 places. But in fact, it was only 1 for Thompson that time, but we saw yesterday how easy it could have been 2 or 3. Thompson is not one to give up in that number 14. Now there is Kuhlmann for the first time in that Wright Motorsports Porsche, feeling the need to go a tad defensive, not massively, but he just took up a middle of the road entry to turn number 5 as they head up the field. Oh, a mistake by Thompson. He did exactly that yesterday. It cost him 2 places then and almost a spot on the podium, but he fought back. And that, I think Mills has gone through. Mills has gone through, and that's 5th place that's changed. Meantime, ahead of them, you feel a bit, I'm beginning to feel a little bit of frustration coming now from Angel Benitez in that MOMO NGT car as they head down through turn 10. He's there again. The 15 car, very quick at the end of the straight. Will he have to use that power now as Angel Benitez dives out to driver's left and clean as you like. Super late braking.
That is how you make an overtaking manoeuvre.
That's outstanding.
Absolutely superb. He towed his way down the hill. He was within a car length of the Porsche in front of him, and then at the last second just dived to the left his braking as late as he dared, was absolutely alongside his rival at the turn-in point. At that point, there's nothing Kuhlmann can do but cede the position, and that is game over there. Angel Benitez up now into 4th place.
Oh, and off. Oh, that's a disaster. That's the 37 of David Williams in the Masters class. The Merkel-sponsored car well beached. Now that may need a tow to get out of there, and that is very interesting. How will our race director see that one? Looks like he's just gone straight on there, on the uphill. And there's a waving inside Kuhlmann's car, and the answer is full course caution with just 16.5 minutes to go. And this is going to close everything back up for a dash to the checkered flag. The lights are off on the Porsche Panamera safety car, and we've got a dash for the points. It's Snow having to do it all over again. His 4.5-second lead negated by that full course caution, and we come to the green flag. There's all kinds of carnage going on coming out of the final corner. 1 or 2 people making up positions there. Davidau and Madsen and Podad all scrapping together, but it's at the head of the field where Madison Snow, Sloan Erry and Ashley Freiberg, along with Angel Benitez Jr. is right there in side-by-side action, Jeremy.
Between Kuhlmann and Mills at the battle for 5th place. They're side by side, and Mills gets the advantage going into turn 4, so Michael Mills makes up a position.
And that's a pass he's been trying for the last 10 or 15 laps under green, and he gets it as soon as we go green again after that slight cessation of hostilities for David Williams in the gravel. And Kuhlmann is now having to battle away with behind him the 29 car of Enrique Cisneros. Everybody behaving themselves again. I'm very impressed with how clean the racing has been in this 4th round of the GT3 Cup Challenge by Yokohama. The leading 3, leading 4 in fact pulling away, and here comes Cisneros to the inside in the braking area for the left-hander at the top of the corkscrew, and that again, textbook manoeuvre. In fairness, I don't think Casey Kuhlmann made it that hard. He's defending a position of strength in terms of the Masters category at the moment, as Thompson comes down the inside now in the bright orange number 14. Can't get it done going into 10 now. I thought he had position there.
Yeah, that's a difficult place to make a pass there. It's very easy to make contact with another car through there and then cause all sorts of dramas, but Colin Thompson might have cost himself a position there.
He has. Craig Dewison has got, oh, look at the debris at the brow of the hill there. A little bit of body work that should be attached to a Porsche. Jerson in the 27. MOMO NGT car down the inside, and Thompson's going to be hung out to dry as he comes through. He's going to have to watch out for Quiros as well as he comes through. Oh, there's a little bit of paint traded. It's all right, they're both vaguely orange, similar colours. Barely going to notice that when you get back to the garage. That Thompson is just about going to polish out as Thompson holds on to that position.
Yeah, big slide coming off turn 3 there, and Jerson that time has to take some evasive action. Jerson tried to make it difficult for Thompson coming off turn 2, but to his credit, Thompson kept his nerve there, kept his foot in it, and kept the position as well.
Bit of trafficator action going on there from Jerson as he's caught the slide. He's just also knocked the indicator stalk inside the car. They do have working head taillights and trafficators, of course. And he's got more defending to do here. Down the inside, there goes Jerson. That was very, very brave indeed, Jerson. Oh, he's gone and managed to give away position. I think that's Davidau and Portad who are both going through there. 16, 77 and 17, all in close attendance. That was a lovely move there by Podad, who makes up a position in the bright green Porsche. Let's head back up to the head of the field where Madison Snow has that much of a gap between himself and Sloan Urry. Freiberg has got Benitez battling at the top of the championship, these two youngsters. Ashley Freiberg in the 51. A little bit defensive perhaps as she goes into the hairpin. And we've got traffic to deal with.
I think that's David Williams, I think.
Back out again.
Yeah, off the pace and doing a good job there to sort of stay out of the way. Good restart though once again by Madison Snow, but yeah, the pace that they're running now is
whoa! And oh, that's that battle we were watching a moment ago. That's Quiros, and in there is the 16, the green car. That is Podad, who'd made up some places, and I think the 77 there is Davidau, the car that's just making its escape from the scene of the crime.
Yeah, that's a shame. That was a good job by Fred Podad. He'd really done a nice job to move himself up into second place in the Masters category, but it all came to an early end down there at turn 4.
Another textbook restart by Madison Snow, and Angel Benitez Jr. has done really well to fight his way up to third, but time is ticking away and he's not on the MOMO NGT Motorsport driver's side at the moment, as Sloan Urry has actually got the hurry up there and through in second place is, if anything, just consolidated his second place at the moment.
Yeah, the lap times though, he was a half a second quicker was Benitez on that lap, and if he can make up another half a second on this lap, he's going to be right on the rear bumper of Sloan Urry. So this battle for second place is very much on, and Ashley Freiberg is hanging on in there as well, and Michael Mills isn't far behind in the third of the Effort Racing cars.
That is a tremendous, pardon the pun, completely intended, effort by that team to have three cars right at the sharp end of the field. I'm writing something down and putting it in an envelope that says where I think Angel Benitez might have a go for second place. I bet you can guess which turn number that is, Jeremy.
That might be.
Let me read your mind. There you go.
Yes, could be.
Very good.
They have been just beautiful textbook passes. I mean, I know often the temptation there is to brake so late and you kind of run wide on the exit of turn 11, but no, Benitez has really kept everything under control and he's able to get on the power coming out of turn 11 still, you know, in good time to get a good run onto the straightaway as well.
He's getting into the kind of area where he might have a look at that again. Maybe needs to be about a car's length closer to Sloan Urry in second place. No, he's not quite there at the moment, but watch him, he's having a look, he's sizing it up, you know, and look at how much later he is on the brakes. Now, if he had been a car's length closer, he would have had an opportunity, just lights up the rear Yokohamas as he comes out of 11 there.
He's going to be right with him next time around, I think. Yeah, next lap, or there's going to be probably 2 laps to go now in this race, so he's going to have 2 opportunities, I think, to find a way past Sloan Urry, although he's actually lost a little bit of ground there on the front straight.
That was entirely spinning up the tyres coming out of 11. He had to pinch the corner a little bit, almost took a little bit too much pace in, just had to tie himself down, not to run into the back of the car ahead of him. And again, that's very honest driving by the young man. Michael Mills there in 5th position, just watching what's going on ahead of him. Meantime, watching what's going on behind him is the leader, Madison Snow. Haven't seen too much of the young man because he's just doing his job out in front in that Snow Racing Right Motorsports number 62.
But I do get the feeling that Benitez Jr. is winding himself up for that, is now going to be the signature move for him, isn't it? I've got a feeling we'll be seeing that on the highlights reel.
The championship's going to be really, really close.
I've got the abacus out here, I can't work it out.
It's going to be necessary, I think. So I don't think Benitez is quite close enough on this lap. He's got to reel in his expectations here, not try and make a pass, just get close enough to have a good run on the front straight and stay with him all the way through this next lap.
Madison Snow has once again done a cracking job. Qualified in pole position, saw a 5-second lead negated when we had 5 minutes of Porsche Panamera safety car for David Williams off into the gravel. Textbook restart, and has absolutely controlled the last few minutes of the race, stretched out now to 2.5 seconds. However, it's not all cut and dried behind him. Sloan Urry has some real pressure from Angel Andres Benitez Jr., who has fought his way up through the field after a disastrous race yesterday. And Effort Racing well represented in the top 5, with 3 of the top 5 runners. Ashley Freiberg in the 51 and Michael Mills in the 41 in 4th and 5th position. But surely the destination of 2nd place is the one that is most under threat as they head towards the Corkscrew up the hill through turn 6 for the final time. Jeremy Shaw.
It absolutely is, and if he might have thought about trying to make a move into the Corkscrew Benitez, but no, he's not close enough going up the hill. So now he's just got to concentrate on getting a good clean run down the hill, make a good exit to turn 9 and particularly turn 10, and then position himself to make a move down the inside into 11.
He's right there, possibly closer than he intended to be as he comes through 9 and into 10. He has a little feint to the right hand side. It's covered by Urry, but the signature manoeuvre is on the brakes into the final corner. Urry's left the door open, I can't believe it, and down the inside comes Angel Benitez Jr., but for once he is rebuffed, and it will be Madison Snow that takes the 2nd race, round 4 of the IMSA GT3 Cup. Challenged by Yokohama. Through in 2nd place will go Urry and Benitez, separated by not very much at all. They are the 3 podium finishers. A fantastic finish to a great weekend of racing that sees Mills come through in 4th position ahead of Freiberg, and that does her championship hopes no good at all. The 2 Effort Racing cars, 41 and 51, reversed on the last lap in positions 4th and 5th. Madison Snow dominated the race weekend, taking his 2nd win in round 4.
This year I just need to work forward and move up, and just stay consistent. That's all about the series, consistency, and they should be in the lead for points right now, so that really helps out.
Sloan Urry recovered from his round 3 mistakes with a 2nd place finish, and Angel Benitez Jr. puts his championship challenge back on track with a 3rd place.
I wanted so bad the 2nd place. I wanted it so bad, but I pushed a lot. And I took everything to the limit. The tires, the brakes, me. It was really hot, so I didn't want to push until do something stupid at the end.
In Masters, Casey Kuhlman once again was on top, with Craig Durson in 2nd and Barnhard in 3rd. In the gold class, Michael Levitas is 4 for 4 this year with yet another clean sweep, while his teammate David Williams took 2nd place. Here's the point standings after round number 4. And next up, Watkins Glen for the 100th race of the Porsche IMSA GT3 Cup Challenge by Yokohama.